Today we're driving a 2017 Fiat 500e to answer one question. Is it entertaining enough to be my next cheap and cheerful weekend toy car? Hey guys, James here. I've been busy for a few years now, but it's good to see you all again. For the last few months, I've been shopping for a fun little car that I can just chuck around on a Sunday morning for about $5,000 to $7,000. Gas engines are usually the more exciting choice, but I also personally don't mind EVs. They're really peppy, which has its own appeal. So I rented this Fiat 500e from Turo for a few days to figure out if it's genuinely a contender. So let's drive around and talk about how this thing feels on the road. Starting with power, this car certainly has enough power and torque for driving around town or on windy roads. It feels really good. When you power out of low speed corners, it's actually super easy to break traction, which of course, is quite entertaining. There is, however, a lot of weirdness in the pedal calibration. EVs are supposed to have really linear power delivery, but apparently the 500e did not get that memo. As you push the accelerator pedal, you get this noticeable kick in the beginning, and then a dead zone, and then another surge of power after that. So it's more like a first-gen BRZ than a typical EV, but sure. And the brakes bring more Fiat quirks to the equation. If you push the brake pedal quickly, like in an emergency situation, there's a very noticeable moment, a delay before the regen kicks in. And this delay will scare you the first few dozen times. Aside from that weird delay though, the braking is actually fine and easy to modulate. The pedal feel is almost like gritty and mechanical, which is pretty unique, but not in a bad way. It feels, I don't know, anything that feels more connected to the machine feels good to me. Between the nonlinearity and the braking delay, this is one of the most oddly calibrated EV drivetrains I've ever used. But at this price point, a lot is forgivable. It's still entertaining, especially how easily it breaks traction when you power out of low-speed corners. And this brings me to steering. It's actually pretty nice. I would say the feel is grainy in a nice old-school way, and I actually quite like the slightly slow ratio, certainly by modern standards. It gives you a lot more control. This specific car is a little bit loose after 66K miles, but again, forgivable at this price. The handling is also entertaining, as you might expect from something this small. It does push into understeer, but only very slightly, and it's actually pretty, surprisingly well balanced and polished, dare I say. The biggest shocker for me though was the ride. This car doesn't have all this excess motion. It controls its mass extremely well. For such a short wheelbase and tall seating position, there's actually very little porpoising. Like, I'm going over this speed hump right now, and it's so controlled. There's none of this like, whoa, kind of motion. Small bumps do get transmitted into the cabin pretty much constantly, but I would say it's not in a bad way. It's more like you can feel the road and less like it's rattling, your fillings out. A big question with any old EV is, will the battery last? Well, after almost 10 years, this particular car is holding up really well. Original EPA estimate was 84 miles of range, and I'm getting about 75 miles with, mixed city highway driving, pretty spirited, very temperate weather, I will say that, but I am running the AC. And according to owner forums, this relatively low amount of degradation seems pretty typical for 500Es, thanks to their really good battery temperature management system. So that's pretty awesome. The one big problem I have seen on forums for the 500e is that if you let the low voltage battery run down too low while the car is parked, you can actually end up bricking the car. So if you get a 500e, it's best to check the age of the 12-volt battery and replacing it if you need to. All in all then, is the 500e the ultimate low-maintenance toy car? I don't know about ultimate, but it's certainly a contender. The powertrain is oddly calibrated, but it is responsive and apparently pretty reliable. And the chassis is also surprisingly good. What I love most though is that the 500e doesn't take itself too seriously. It has this certain joie de vivre from the way it drives. It's like a little bit sloppy but kind of flamboyant, to the way it's styled, that few other cars can really match in the modern era. So if the battery range works for you and you don't need 3 pedals, this might actually be one of the best options under 7 grand. For me, I'm gonna keep trying out different cars, but the 500e is not ruled out just yet. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.